Group of white supremacists has founded a 160-acre settlement in the Ozark Hills for white people only, and it's called Return to the Land. It was set up in 2023 by two men named Eric Orwell and Peter Cesare, and it explicitly bans Jewish people, LGBTQ individuals, and anyone who isn't a white Christian of European descent. In this case, it turns out Jews are not considered white after all. Now, this white-only town is vetting members through interviews and ancestry screening, and only those who can prove European roots are allowed in. Right now, about 40 people live there full-time, but hundreds more around the world have already paid for membership. And once accepted, members can buy land, but instead of traditional deeds, they're sold LLC shares tied to private plots. The group claims that this loophole lets them bypass civil rights housing laws. Well, joining us now is Gerard Filiti. He's a senior counsel at the Lawfare Project. So, can a community like this legally use LLC shares in a private members association to avoid civil rights housing laws? Are they going to be able to get away with this in modern America?
It's very unlikely that they will be able to get away with this in modern America, precisely because this runs afoul of anti-discrimination laws, federal anti-discrimination laws, and potentially state ones as well. Now, you can have a private organization that does discriminate. As unsavory as and disgusting as that may be, in America, you can associate with people whom you choose. But when you're holding yourself out to the public, when you're opening yourself up for a membership, and especially when you are constructing or selling housing, then you have to comply by anti-discrimination laws. And that means that you can't limit who you sell to, even if they're trying to structure this in a clever manner.
Good morning, Owasso. This is Chad with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. Well, as you can see there, they are in Arkansas. They have a white-only community that they're trying to build, and that's been kind of blowing up the news feed for a little bit in all the stuff that I've been seeing lately. So I thought I would talk about this today and how it's very strange that we seem to be having incidents of stuff like this happening all over the place. But for some groups of people, it's okay, and for others, it's not okay. So we'll start by pulling this one up. So we just saw that about the white-only group. So now let's go over and see how the coverage is of this. Like I said, it literally says they started it out. Let's go back and just watch it right here.
A group of white supremacists has founded a 160-acre settlement in the Ozark Hills for white people only, and it's called Return to the Land. It was set up...
Okay, expressly negative. Now, let's go check this one out.
We are learning new details about Freedom, Georgia. 19 families, black families, combined their resources to purchase 97 acres of land in Georgia. They're hoping to start their own town. It's called Freedom, with a vision to create a safe space for their families. Now TMZ is reporting that several production companies are interested in creating a reality show to help tell their story. This feels like is Jews coming together to find Israel, and there's a lot of finding a hometown, a safe space. But I got to go to Jeff for the reality show aspect of this. Is this a winner of a show, or is this...
You never know with these reality shows. Yeah. Everyone and their mother literally thinks they could have a reality show, right? True. But it seems like the producers in this case are going after them, which kind of turns the tables a little bit. So it's interesting. I'm telling you,
Would you watch?
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I want to see, now my wheels are spinning. Like, so I want to know, I have so many questions. Do they have to abide by their own laws? Do they have to abide by the laws of the land of California?
All right, we're just going to pause that right there. Relatively positive coverage. Only black community. Freedom, Georgia. Which I'm not opposed to people having their own communities and, like, letting in who they want and who they don't want. I mean, we literally just talked about the Muslim community that's being built, trying to be built in Texas right now, just the other day. But this is the issue, is like, why is it okay for certain groups of people? It is tolerable and politically okay for certain groups of people, namely minorities, to do things like this and exclude white people and other races. But the moment that the white community does it, it's considered racist and the most terrible thing that's ever happened in the world. So I have a couple articles pulled up, and let's check this out. So White-only community plotting expansion to another state as its efforts to build a white nation continues. Return to the Land is an ethno-nationalist living community in remote Arkansas that welcomes only people with traditional views and European ancestry, reportedly planning a new project in Missouri. So here's one in Missouri. Far-right ethno-nationalist group has set up a white-only community in remote parts of the Ozark, northeastern Arkansas, and reportedly exploring the possibility of expanding into Missouri. Return to the Land, which describes itself as a private membership, PMA, for individuals with traditional views in European ancestry, opened its first community in Arkansas on October 2023 and is now considering entering its second state, near Springfield, according to NBC's regional affiliate KSNT. The group is opposed to mass immigration, multiculturalism, forced integration, and reportedly does not welcome non-whites, non-Christians, or LGBTQ people, explaining that its members are seeking to separate ourselves from the failing modern society and return to pastoral living. You want a white nation? Build a white town. Return to... say RTTL's co-founder Eric Orwells asks in an X video promoting the inventive can be done. We're doing it. RTTL's flagship community spans approximately 150 acres of land and is home to 40 inhabitants and features its own cabins, roads, as well as community center and schoolhouse. It follows by a second site near opening in January this year, with the group listing further Ozark site upcoming aspirations to move into the Appalachian Mountains on its website. Speaking to Sky News journalist Tom Cheshire, who visited First Fortress for the White Race, found a world of fresh goat's milk, flute recitals, family kickball games, and creek swimming. Orwell expressed a nostalgia for America in 17th century encountered by the Virginian settlers. I would probably feel more comfortable there because I'm white, and that's why this country was when my ancestors came here, he said, overlooking the Native Americans soon to be displaced by the colonists. Even if the individuals all had the same values that I have, even if they have an ethnic identity that other people share and care about, their children will also have the identity. Their children will not necessarily have all the same beliefs as they have. This is ambitious for RTTL's expansion, he said. I would like to have more communities so that people in all parts of the U.S. can have this option if they want to. I would also like to have a network branch out internationally. Part of the branching out includes online fundraising campaigns, one of which seeks donations to enable the group to pay cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means of incentives for population growth, which is halfway towards the $10,000 goal at this time of writing. For a back-to-nature movement, RTTL is surprisingly active on social media, posting updates, progress, and construction projects of wildlife photography, in illustration from children's book to promote a rural Italy. Orwell said, I'm going to keep saying Orwell, but it's Orwell, frames the debate surrounding his project as the First Amendment issue, freedom issue about doing what we want on our own private land, as an investment of tens of thousands of dollars into research on its legality. The attorneys we've consulted believe what they're doing is legal, he told KNST. Americans have the right to freely associate from intentional communities on whatever basis they choose. Orwell believes that the PMA status exempts it from legislation from the Civil Rights and Fair Housing Act, which mandates equity and outlaws discrimination, although is by no means an opinion shared by all experts. Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin, for one, said in a statement responding to RTTL's practices, racial discrimination has no place in Arkansas or anywhere in the free society. These allegations raise all sorts of legal issues, including constitutional concerns, in my office reviewing the matter. Barry Jefferson, the president of the Arkansas chapter of the National Association for Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, said, I just truly believe that we don't need to get back to the Jim Crow era. We've been through this before. I think that no one should be discriminated against because of skin color. If you really look into the Civil Rights Act, it doesn't state that I have a misunderstanding, Blah, 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 blah. And anti-defamation has even been more blunt, that he was accusing it of discrediting and referential terms segregation. Blah, 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 blah. Asked by Sky about how the overtly racist aspect of the organization could share the white supremacist slogans, Telegram, second thoughts of Adolf Hitler, Orwell did not shy away, saying in the the Nazi leader is one-sided and informed by World War II propaganda. I think all historical figures are complex and multidimensional, he said, but when I say that you're going to have to wait for the new Hitler to arise, I'm not saying that you're going to have to wait for a new person to start a Holocaust. All I'm saying is that you're going to have to wait for a charismatic leader who's going to advocate for your interests, because that's how a lot of people see Hitler. So very, very telling about how that was. So now let's go over to this little article right here. Black Americans are leaving their homes to start their all-own black communities. 19 families have pulled together, pooling their money to get 97 acres of land. Reporting to The Turning Point, a groundbreaking series by ABC News examining the racial reckoning sweeping the United States and exploring whether it can lead to a lasting reconciliation. For now, a small parcel of land as Freedom, Georgia, is just a campground, red clay under the hot sun, but the black Americans who are moving there, it's a dream. So far, 19 families, of whom are from Georgia, have pooled their money to buy nearly 97 acres in the land of Wilkinson's County, which is located about 2 hours south of Atlanta. In their escape, they said that it'll be from everyday racism that feels a part of life in the United States. The final push to make the movement in the summer, the images of black Americans like Jacob Blake in Wisconsin and Ahmed Arbery in Georgia being gunned down by white police officers in white neighborhoods, many of them said. We came together, and you know what? We don't like being slaughtered in the streets. We don't like our children being there. Go away, little ad. Man, I hate ads. Our children being there. They're being at the mercy of some psychopath that wants to tackle us, arrest us, and bang our heads. We don't want it. We don't want that. So how about we just come together and build our own? Dr. Tabitha Ball, a licensed clinical psychologist from Atlanta suburbs. All this stuff sounds exactly like what we just read in the other article. What is the difference here? The difference is the race and what side that the liberal media takes on these cases. Said, I don't think discrimination is a good thing. I don't think that racially segregating people is necessarily a good thing. But you can't. But if you're gonna play the game that, hey, these people are allowed to do this. These poor people are allowed to start their own community and do this. You can't play the game where it goes one group of people is allowed to do it and another group of people is not. That's the issue that we have here. I mean, I'm literally going to pull up my old video here from, let's see, let's go to here from our channel, of that Muslim community one that we were talking about. So let's go to videos, latest. Where is the Texas one? I know it's on here somewhere. Where, oh where? There it is, right there.
A proposed Muslim community is set to be built just northeast of Dallas, and it's causing major political clash among some North Texans, among developers and state leaders, in fact, as well. So the proposition for the community near Josephine, Texas. Today, the Collin County commissioners got together, hosted a public hearing. They got together to talk about the project. Nicole Nielsen was there to listen in. She's live for us. So what'd they talk about? Tell us what you heard.
Doug, if you can believe it, this meeting is actually still going on. It started at 1:30 this afternoon. So really, what didn't they talk about? Community members really going to the podium and discussing their concern about the development, going against the Fair Housing Act, and really going against anybody who isn't Muslim from living there.
You want to say that we are against inclusion because we speak against this, but that is exactly what a community like this is against. Why else would they want their own community? What is the purpose of them having their own community?
Sharia law is is so far away.
But just to show that that is one of the episodes that I talked about, and we talked about this regularly, is like communities are literally self-segregating themselves, and we're not integrating, we are segregating ourselves. I mean, that's the whole point of this. Like, you know, there's all sorts of schools and groups that, you know, are, they're not completely segregated. Like, you know, like there are Jewish schools, there are Jewish communities. Same with Catholic schools, Catholic communities. Like, they're not self-segregated, like I said, because anybody can go to probably a Jewish school. Anybody can go to a Catholic school. But, you know, it's primarily there for, like, one group of people. And we have this, when this happens, we have all these people showing up and saying, okay, look, this is okay. But when this group of people does it, it's not okay. And it seems to be like this constantly. And we're having these problems. These problems keep buckling up. If you're going to say that the white community can't do it, then no community can't do it. That's the issue that we're having here. You're gonna have to, if you're gonna play this game, you're gonna have to play the game to where everybody gets the same rules against them. This is not the whole, oh, we're gonna allow this group of people to do this. That's giving some people more rights than others. This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that we have these conversations. That we're having this conversation, but this is what's been going on here. But that's really all I've got for that right now. We'll just do some memes to try to lighten it up, like trying to lighten the mood, and then we'll just end it out with this short here from Sky News talking about it. So, Democrats in 2025, when a man dresses up like a woman for an ad campaign, they love it. And he goes, when a woman dresses like a woman for an ad campaign. No! Yeah, the old Dylan Mulvaney versus the Sydney Sweeney. Is like, yes, who would have guessed that sex sells? And guys are not interested in a guy pretending to be a woman. And who drinks beer? It's dudes. It's not chicks. Chicks don't drink beer. So they completely missed the mark on this. Democrats will try to only a very highly educated person would think that doing something like that would work. One made a business crumble and the other made business soar, and America has spoken. I love it. I love it. It's Dylan Mulvaney and Sydney Sweeney again. Oh, yeah. This is the big issue right now. This is what is going on in Europe right now and here. This is why people are trying to avoid or wanting to start their own communities. It's stuff like this. Uh-oh, where's my volume? That's from Rescue Team America, from the guys of South Park. I love that. They did the whole puppet movie. Said Europeans meeting their new neighbors. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's funny stuff. No wonder why these younger generations are so confused, and this is 100% true. Elizabeth Warren, Native American. Kamala Harris, African American. What's her name? Michelle Obama, oppressed. Joe Biden, competent. George Floyd, a hero. Bill Gates, a scientist. Greta Thunberg, an expert. The Summer of Love riots, mostly peaceful. And then whatever that person was that was I forget, they were the health minister or whatever of ours, was a woman. It was actually a transgender woman, so it was a dude pretending to be a woman. It's like, yeah, Democrats constantly ask us to believe in unbelievable things, like with the whole ad marketing campaign. That was a liberal woman that came up with that Dylan Mulvaney idea that tanked Bud Light. Trump, I'm going to make D.C. safer and make our nation's capital respectable again. Liberals, no! It's like, yeah. Why are you opposed to cleaning up the streets and making D.C. less crime-ridden? Why are they always in favor of the criminals? They're always in favor of protecting criminals. It blows my mind. It's a dog in a chicken costume. And it's the Giga Chad meme going, that's a dog. And then it's a bunch of transgenders being like, that's a chicken. Oh my gosh, dude. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then I saw this and I just couldn't help but laugh at it. There's one thing that deportations have taught me. It's that if the U.S. were to be attacked by invaders, the Democrats would join the enemy's side. And at this point, I'm having a hard time, coming up with any logic against that, because they constantly are defending illegal immigration and criminals that are killing and trafficking people constantly. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. But that's really all I've got for today. I'll just play us out with a little short here of them interviewing the women of this all-white community, so you can kind of hear their takes on things. But even then, it's like they're constantly turning this and being like, why would you do something like this? This is a white supremacist group. It's always talking about it in these ways, whereas like it doesn't happen on the other way. They don't ask the black community town anything like that. Do you find this to be a little discriminatory against people? Like, they don't ask those questions because the liberal media is afraid to. They're too afraid to. And like when you point stuff out like this, all they do is freak out, and I don't know. It's absolutely ridiculous. But that's really all I've got for today. This is Chad with the Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that's really all I've got for today. So I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, everybody.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I. I'm 32. I'm a lady.
This is Return to the Land, a group of millennials who organised online to build something radical and controversial. A town for white people only, that they insist is completely legal. We spent several days with them, watching as the men set about the physical labour of building out the site. All the while, the women of the group took on the more typically trad, homesteading-type roles.
I guess I found the people through Twitter that ended up starting this project, actually spearheading it. And I went out to the first April event last year, and it was really fun.
The sort of white-only aspect of this, how important is that to you guys?
Given the premise that it's something that is kind of off limits for whites but is okay by implication for other groups, I do feel it's necessary to carve that out, and you kind of have to do it yourself.
It's kind of like if we don't do this, the laws are only getting worse as far as freedom of association goes. So it's kind of like we have to do this, or there might come a time where it's not possible to.
Are you guys aware sort of people are going to be watching, it's going to be controversial?
I think people just have a large misunderstanding of what's happening here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the biggest misunderstanding?
Well,
that we hate everyone else. Like,
yeah,
it's not about that.
Yeah,
by any means.
It's a loving movement.
I mean, on that aspect of it being loving, I suppose the counter argument would be it could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do, and I think that's great for them. And it's like, if other people are allowed to do it, I don't really see why whites aren't allowed to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So it's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
The leader, Eric Orwell, wants the community to grow, and further what he calls traditional white American culture. And the group is explicit about this. It has an online fundraiser to give cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means to incentivize population growth. Just before we arrived, they donated $1,000 to a family for having their 6th child.
Is that part of the mission as well, to sort of have big families, to make the community bigger? Is there a sort of pressure there?
I don't feel particularly myself, I don't feel any pressure to like have a big family. I think there's a kind of expectation here that you do want to, as part of helping grow this thing, that you're going to have kids.